Know It All Nation. Thanks for tapping in, joining us for our second episode of JAG2G. Just a guy, that's me, the two geniuses, them my boys, Rory and Stephen in the building on a Saturday morning, well, Saturday afternoon now, a little later than usual. We won't keep you too long. We know college football is getting started, and we all football fans, so I'm great. Hurry up so we can tune into that. But we still want to show some consistency and come at you. We might have to teach Steven about coughing and stuff in the mic. You see, there's a mute button over there, Steven. Before we come to you real quick though. Fellas, what's up? What's up with you, Steven?
Nothing much, man. It's actually a beautiful Saturday outside. I did wake up. You tried to say I'm the late one, but I was up. I was ready to go early this morning.
We late because of me. You were ready to go early, but
yeah, I was ready to go.
It was earlier for Rory because he's in a different time zone.
No, but I do say this subject we're talking about this morning it was crazy to me. It seemed like it all, like, considering all the stuff we've talked about over the past few weeks, this huge story to drop like this. Like I said, I wasn't shocked at all. And like I've been like sitting here waiting for something like this to happen.
Right. No, I agree. Rory, what's up with you, man? After that, your team is it what's the name of your school? Irving High?
Irving High School.
Well, you told us backstage that last night you guys took one.
Boy, your mama told me you was disrespecting her, okay? So pick one. Either way it go, this ends with you getting a whooping.
Heard y'all got a whooping last night, man. What's going on out here in these places?
Yeah, we took a whooping, 37-0. But I mean, we held that belt though. When Mama came to hit us with the belt, we grabbed that belt. That's 37-0 right there. We grabbed it.
So sometimes that'll say you a few swats. If Mama mad though, that can make it worse too.
It could, but it didn't. It didn't. This time it didn't. We held them from 70 to 37.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually less points though.
I mean,
70 to 37 is not as bad as 37-0.
No, I'm just saying. No, I'm saying we held them from 70 points.
Oh,
they wanted to put 70 on us, and we held that belt. Like, nope, no, not today, not today.
There's small victories in that. Hey, man, I can look at myself, man. Part of the reason I got a barbershop appointment every other Saturday at 10:30. When we scheduled the first show, I wasn't thinking about that because it wasn't that Saturday. then it became a thing. But I can look at myself and tell I just got my hair cut, man, because I was on here looking bad for the past. Because I missed 2 weeks ago. My barber was sick, and I didn't want to get off schedule. I could have went in the following week, but I didn't want to, so I waited to the extra week, and here I am now. So that we're late because of me. But Steven brought up today's topic. Gambling scandal in the NBA. We're going to talk about that. I want to know what you guys think about the most recent thing, right? This is the only most recent. This is not like a new thing, right? No. I mean, sports and gambling go way back. And I think it only became a problem when gambling got legalized, right?
Yeah, I think I would agree with that 100%.
But before we get started, let's shout out to folks in the live chat real quick. We got Red Vest on the boat. Thanks for joining us. Never seen you before, Red, but thanks for tapping in, man. All right. Okay. Afton in the building per usual. Our chat general, one of the know-it-all crew. Thanks for tapping in, Afton. Pickens, you big dummy. What up, bro? J. Steve. Val Ford. Jaime Carlo. Fee. What up, boo? How you doing today? Thanks for tapping in. Like I said, we know everybody watches college football. Let's get in here and talk about this topic real quick. We already kind of brought up what it was. So this week in the NBA, the FBI, man, the feds in the building, right? The feds came in and arrested.
Patel. Looking all happy.
Josh Patel, yeah. Josh Patel. Good call, Rory. Yeah.
Confused, like.
Well, yeah, and I want to get into that too, because this thing is going all the way to the floors of Congress now, right? I think there's some reasoning behind that too, and I'll talk about it when we get to that point. But yeah, man, Damon Jones,
Terry Rozier,
former player Damon Jones, played with LeBron early in his career. Really not that great a player, but assistant coach too. Terry Rozier, like Roy said, from Youngstown, Ohio, where I'm originally from. So I know this don't surprise me about him. I know how Youngstown people is. And Chauncey Billups, Mr.
Chauncey
Big
Billups.
Shot,
Mr.
NBA Hall of Famer.
Oh, but he had that moment. He had that moment is early in his career, like everyone, like a lot of the athletes have. He had that moment.
But
he showed that moment.
He was drafted to the Boston Celtics.
What was he, third or something? What was he? He was pretty high, wasn't
he? Like sixth pick in the draft, way back then.
Celtics.
Yeah, Celtics. Really didn't work out with the Celtics, but once he moved around a few places, ended up being really good with the Pistons. Like I said, Hall of Fame career. I told you one time he was on track to be an NBA executive, a general manager. I don't know why it didn't happen. But it didn't happen in that time. But he's the current coach, or formerly the coach. We don't know how this is going to work out. So he's not coaching right now. He's the intern coach. Tiago Splitter played for Greg Popovich and the Spurs back in the day. But Chauncey Billups is not in anything related to the NBA. They got Chauncey with a poker, legal poker gambling.
Yeah. And you know what I immediately thought of? You know what I immediately thought of when I read that? I thought of The Sopranos. Wow, perfect, exactly. Oh my God, that's so perfect. That is. I'm a big Sopranos fan. Kevin, did you ever get around to watching it?
I did. It kind of The Sopranos to me kind of jumped the shark the last 2 seasons, maybe.
That's accurate. There were big pauses in between the seasons because of contract negotiations, and the writing kind of started to fall off a little bit. But one of the big scams that they show accurately in the show is the executive card game, where you have these big name celebrities, and in the show it's Frank Sinatra Jr. and Lawrence Taylor are these guys that are the draws for marks at these games, and these games are rigged. And in the show, the games are rigged by the way the games are rigged is the marks don't know that all of the other players in the game are all playing against you. They don't know that all of the other players are mobbed up and are part of the same gang. And the only real players in the game are the celebrity and the marks. So they end up making these guys lose lots of money, making them have to give up, making them go into debt and stuff like that. And that was the first thing I thought. I was like, wow, Chauncey Billups was sitting up there with Tony Soprano and stuff like that, playing cards with these guys. You're muted. Your
mic's off, Kev.
Man, in tradition with what we do in KnoItAllz, when you talk, when your mic is off.
Come on, do something.
I get a fine, put money in the jar.
Good.
But yeah, man. So Stephen, you're absolutely right, and like I said, I think it became more, because like with anything to me, and we'll get more into the gambling aspect. Let me just set it up real quick. Like, stuff goes on, right, and illegal activities go on, and we people, the government, politicians, lawmakers, they think, man, they're getting money from that, right? They're getting money from that. I want some of that. I want some of that money. Let's legalize it and regulate it. Let's go back to prohibition. That's the thing, right? The guys are making money bootlegging, making their own liquor, carrying in back road, country roads on trucks and making deliveries and stuff. Then, man, the weed game was real big, selling weed, marijuana, everybody smoking their doobies, rolling their joints, smoking their blunts, all that stuff. Man, they making money off that. Let's get in on that too. Then we get medicinal marijuana. I mean, some places is legal only for medical purpose, but more and more places it's becoming legalized where you can go in the store and buy it like you can go in the store and buy a beer.
It's huge money too. $2 billion per month and $2 billion per month in Maryland since they legalized it.
In Maryland, it's
growing. Yeah,
I didn't know it. My brother let me know. I won't say how he let me know or why he let me know. My brother let me know it's a dispensary, Stephen, like 6 minutes away from my house. Never knew it, but it's there.
It's huge money for the state now. So, and it's exactly what you said. They looked at it and they were like, we can regulate this. Let's get our piece.
I want some of that. And to me, the same thing kind of happened with sports gambling, right? I mean, guys had their bookies, whether you're running numbers, making bets, you don't pay them, you're getting your legs broke and all that stuff like that, right? This was a thing. And so, you know what? Let's get a piece of that. Not only do we get a piece of that, let's make it digital. Let's make it online. Let's make it hook to people's bank account where we just can do this. And here we are. Another thing that became legalized. And not that makes it bad, but that makes more money in it. And with more money is more enticement for athletes and stuff like this. Because it took a minute for college athletes to get NIL deals, right? I mean, you know, they were getting these guys using their name, image, and likeness on video games and stuff, and selling jersey sales and all kinds of stuff. We know that. Athletes finally started getting the piece. But in the pros, they bet on these guys' statistics and personal plays and whether your team wins a game or not. And these guys don't get any of that. So it's not surprising to me that, you know, on the back side of it, through the back door, they're finding a way to get a piece of it too by influencing games. So I'll just say that part of it, and I'll say a couple more things. I was going to put up a couple graphics, and you guys can go ahead and talk about it. But like I said, this isn't new, right? So we see Chauncey Billups at a poker game, like Stephen mentioned about the Sopranos executive poker game and stuff. You know, so I don't know what games he were playing, but where he was having games at. But obviously, the mafia is not the first time the mafia has had his hand involved in sports.
Nope.
If you ever watched the movie Goodfellas, remember Goodfellas? The character Henry Hill, the actor has since died that played. And what was his name? You remember his name?
Ray Liotta.
Ray Liotta.
Ray Liotta played. That's one of my favorite movies too. I like Goodfellas. But they were influencing college basketball in the Northeast. If you read Rick Coon was the player. Henry Hill, the mobster, famously portrayed in Goodfellas, was a key organizer of 1978-79 Boston College basketball point-shaving scandal. He recruited players, including Rick Coon, to manipulate game scores for the benefit of gamblers associated with organized crime. So, after being arrested in 1980 on charges, Hill cooperated with authorities, providing testimonies that revealed the scandal. So, and that's why, if you look at our graphic for the show cover, the guys are pointing at each other. Fingers gonna start getting pointed. Guys gonna start snitching and telling each other, he bet this, he bet that. This is just a tip of the iceberg. A lot more is great come out. We know if you go way back, we know about the scandal in baseball. The Chicago Black Sox, not the White Sox. They were called the Black Sox because these jokers were in on the tape. 1919 World Series against the Reds. Shoeless Joe Jackson and other players through the World Series so they could get paid. So this goes way back. We know about my guy, last one, my guy, Pete Rose. Pete Rose, I don't think was even influencing gambling. He was betting on his team to win because, you know, he could kind of control that, but at least he's not throwing the game. So I never saw a problem with what Pete Rose was doing. And the NBA has been around for a while. These guys bet big money on plane rides and locker rooms. Infamously and allegedly, Michael Jordan is one of the biggest all-time gamblers ever. I mean, so
might have been out of the league because of gambling. Might have been put out of. I had to go play some baseball because of the gambling.
You might be right about that.
That's still
Roy.
my belief. That is still my belief. I'll go to my grave believing that Michael Jordan. They said, "Hey, they said
that makes no sense,
Mike,
Rory.
you gotta go for a little while. You gotta go for a little while.
Rory, it doesn't make any sense.
I hear you. Okay.
It doesn't make any sense. Why would they be like, you know what we're gonna do?
You gotta go for a little while.
Make
Mike,
the league suck, and all of us get
while.
less money for a couple years. Let's do that, you guys.
You had to
why
punish him.
would we do that? If we're rich guys, why on earth would we do that? That doesn't make any sense.
To you, it doesn't make sense.
I think he's being sarcastic.
To me, is that
like
what he's
like
saying?
like that Kevin Hart money we saw
Okay,
last week.
we don't know. We don't know. Stephen, it might be going over my head. I'm just saying. I just believe that he had to go play
Are you?
baseball
Is,
for
is there
Okay,
3 years.
okay.
is there a hint of sarcasm in that, Steven?
I don't know.
No, I'm just what I'm
You
saying is
you really don't think Michael Jordan could have potentially been, kind of suspended under the
no.
table?
I don't think he. I think he's a
Okay.
degenerate gambler. I'm not saying he's not a degenerate gambler because the way he talks and the way they talk about how he gambles,
He admits to it.
He seems to be a gambling addict. But I don't think he ever bet on. I don't think he ever bet on NBA games. I think he probably had some big debts. But again, at the time, like a $50,000 gambling debt for a millionaire is not a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? That's not a lot of.
It is in 1993.
But that's what I'm saying. In 1993, Michael Jordan was a millionaire. So it did that money for us. It seems it
Gambling for athletes during that time period
So-
was bad.
Okay, so
That's it. That's it.
Focusing
It
in on the scandal we're talking about now, today's
Yeah.
scandal. I will say this: for me, it does feel like a distraction. For one, there's 31 people involved in the indictment, and the vast majority of them are mob connected, but none of them were named in the press conference. Only the famous basketball players who all happen to be black were named.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
That's the way it goes.
that just is weird to me. You know what I'm saying?
makes
have
it-
to go
and
down.
when I look,
The stool
when I
pigeons
look up
gotta
the
go down.
indictment, when I look up the indictment, you can't find none of these mob guys' names nowhere.
they never go-
You can't. Why can't I see their names
They
too?
might-
They're the ones
hey,
who actually did the crimes.
Steven,
So-
they
You
might
know the
they
answer
might
to that.
they,
You know the
they
answer.
might be connected to the highest office in the land. I wouldn't be surprised at that. I'll put that out there.
I would say this. I think that something like this doesn't happen if you don't have him as president in 2016 and it's not clear that he has a path to the presidency in 2024. Because anytime you have a guy like this who is a convicted felon who is our president, that
Hey,
amps
remember
up,
that.
that amps up all of these people to think, okay, well, if he's gonna pardon people for committing real crimes, then we can just do whatever. We can roll the die and do whatever. You know what? If we make some money, we gotta go to jail for a little while. We might get pardoned.
No,
You know what I mean? Like-
no pun intended with roll the dice.
but yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like it feels like a distraction from,
From the war on drugs with Colombia and
from all this illegal,
blowing
all this
innocent
illegal,
boats
all
out
this
the
illegal
water and
stuff
stuff
they
like
seem
that.
to be doing. You know what I mean? So.
Rory,
It's
your thoughts,
important.
man.
It's important. But
I mean, my thoughts are my thoughts. I mean, but here I'm going to say that this is a murky, road we've taken down already, just because of the gambling in sports. Period. I mean, think about how crazy this is. LeBron James is a spokesperson for DraftKings, and LeBron James is still in the league playing the game. I'm confused by that. But
I never thought about that one, but
we had this going on. And I'm like, the lines have been so blurred at this point with the gambling. And then we got the prop bets. You know what I mean? Like, so, hey, is LeBron going to foul out this week in this game? And he could. And then that's money right there. So I'm like, I'm so confused that we blurred the lines and we're pretending like the lines have not been blurred. And the next thing, players are getting caught up in this. Like, of course they'll get caught up in this. Like, hey, don't take a 3. You know what I mean? We need you to have only 10 points. And okay. I mean, this is easy stuff to do. And I don't know. I'm confused by this whole process and the gambling in sports. And if you do it, if you allow it, it's going to happen. And then you don't get confused like, oh, what's happening? I don't know. I'm just like, this is going to happen. And I'm surprised that, if they just waited a little while, they could have got a whole lot more fish if they wanted it. To be honest with you, but they just jumped the gun now. So now people are gonna be like, a little bit more cautious, a little bit more under the radar. But hey, this is what we're doing right now.
But it is like Steven alluded to. It is bigger than just the athletes.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Steven.
That's exactly the sentiment that I sent to Kevin. Was wow, shocker. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't surprised by the story at all. I'm not like they're trying to make it seem like, oh my God, how could they do this? And I'm like, nah. As much as you guys have woven gambling into the sport, and Like DraftKings is basically a part owner of the NBA now. Everybody is a spokesperson. Gambling has a criminal element to it. It just does. There's no getting away from that. If there's legitimate gambling allowed, then there's going to be people on that. There's going to be people trying to manipulate that are illegitimate. So for me, it was kind of like, again, it's just a matter of time. For me, the bigger thing is, when is someone going to get caught doing this in the NFL? Because in my opinion, they've just been getting away with it. It's not that it's not happening. They've just been getting away with it.
It touches every sport.
Every sport.
Every sport.
Every
I mean, I don't have a doubt in that at all. And I learned gambling was illegal when I was a young junior high student. My brother, a little later, was shooting dice on street corners, down on the ground, on the sidewalk. Police will pull up and jokers take off running. You learn really fast that, oh, we ain't allowed to shoot dice with our own money. So, yeah, when you affected like the whole Damon Jones and Terry Rozier, that the NBA aspect of what's been reported, because Chauncey Billups is an NBA coach that was doing poker games, not necessarily affecting NBA games, but it's alleged, and what's reported is Damon Jones and Terry Rozier have influenced potentially up to $7 million in payouts from whatever they have done. Two people influenced $7 million in payouts. The FBI has $200,000 cash payment taken to Terry Rozier's house. $200,000 in cash for him playing faking hurt and going out the game so he wouldn't hit his overs.
Easy money.
Easiest
money you can make.
But if you get $200,000 more dollars for saying, "Oh, tap me out, coach, I'm hurt," and you're supposed to get 14 points and you go out the game with 10 and you collect $200,000 and your team is still winning, like Rory says, it's easy to influence that stuff.
I mean, you guys are right. You guys are, and the problem becomes, how do you stop it at this point? If you're the NBA commissioner, right? And again, there's DraftKings banners everywhere in every stadium, and the DraftKings bug is in the bottom right corner of every broadcast. How is anybody going to take you serious when you try to say we're going to punish these guys for gambling? You know what I mean? Like, nobody's going to take that serious.
Oh man!
Especially when a bunch of these people will probably get pardoned anyway.
The athletes ain't gonna get pardoned.
No, they're not.
They're not gonna get pardoned.
No,
they're gonna say, "Shut up and dribble the ball, play the games, you sons of bitches," and all that stuff. That's what's gonna happen to them. Val 4 puts an interesting comment that says NFL just mandated that any player with any gambling debt of $10,000 or more must report to the NFL. It's interesting.
That's going to be
is that the NFL trying to get out ahead of this? Is that just a new rule for optics? What do you guys think?
It's got to be optics. How do you even enforce that?
We want to see your prize picks.
All right, guys.
We want to see your prize picks account.
Honest system. If you got $10,000 or more gambling debts, just tell us the truth, okay? Just hand to God. Just come to us and tell us the truth. Like, are you kidding me? Like,
I don't think they're gonna be able to. But you never know. One never knows. Maybe they have to, give their accounts to people. Who knows? Shout
out to one of our KnoItAllz crew, my boy, one of our callers, Big G.
Big G.
The NBA has always been and always will be full of gamblers. All the way back to the 70s, point shaving is a problem. Can you affect your team by not playing, faking stuff with coaching moves? Yeah, I mean, the NBA, all sports can be influenced. I mean, if you a coach, you could take a player out the game. Oh, Joker, you're not finna get your over today and cost me money. Come sit down on this bench. You know what? Or at last second have a load management day. How about that? How about that, Tim Duncan? I don't want.
I mean, it's always been. I can tell you right now. When I was in high school, my coaches were gambling. You know what I mean, on college sports. I remember one of my coaches betting on Louisville. You know what I mean, during the Louisville Kentucky game, and I was like, I didn't even know that. Yeah, as a young person, I'm like, how are you making these bets? But they're talking about the bets. You know what I mean? They're like, oh yeah, I'm getting this. I'm like, and I'm even as a high school, I'm thinking, how are you making these bets? Because where are you going? There's no gambling hole you can go to. Like, oh, I want to bet this much money. But this is part of our society. Like Big G said, this is going back, like you said, to the White Sox. We have it's just part of the the fabric of U.S. You know what I mean? Well, in fact, the whole world gambles. The whole world gambles. If you go to India, they're gambling on cricket. You know what I mean? How do you stop it? I don't know.
I think
But
it's
you open the
interesting.
floodgates by the DraftKings, the Prize Picks, and every other gambling outlet. And there's no way to stop it.
You make it easier for people to gamble than just through back rooms and back halls and or even going to the casino. I can sit right here and do casino stuff from my laptop or my phone right here.
Back in the day, you had to go to the casino. You had to go. You had to go. Like I remember years ago, like my friends would go into, before I lived in Vegas, they would say, "I'm going to Vegas." I was like, "Hey, can you?" And I said, "Here's $20. Can you bet, with $20 my Rams to win the Super Bowl?" You know what I'm saying? That's how we had to make the gambling back in the day. Like you had to go out of your way if you want to do it legally. I'm saying legally, right. You had to go somewhere where you could do it legally. Now it's like you said, on your phone, sitting up in your crib. Anywhere you want, you can gamble now, and that's what we have going on. So how do you stop that? I don't know. And
I think it's interesting. The NFL has for a long time tried to shield their refs by picking people who they feel like are unencroachable or have incomes that are already so high that they won't be enticed by by illegitimate sources and stuff like that. But if you have a guy like Chauncey Billups who has to be a millionaire, right? Like there's no way he's not a millionaire, right? I mean, if you can convince a guy who's already rich and doesn't need any extra money to participate in this stuff, like to me that puts every NFL ref is now
Chauncey Billups has a net worth of $35 million.
But we're talking about the mafia here. You know what I mean? So the mafia comes to you and says, "Hey, we want you to do this." You don't get to say no. I know you don't. I hate to say.
If they're saying if he was the executive in the game, the way that normally works is the person who comes to you is like your friend or something like that. You know what I mean?
Recruiting big fish.
Yeah, you're not like in the executive is not leaned on like that in that kind of way. You know what I mean?
They're the face. We need
they're
you
the
to
face.
More
as a matter of fact, the executive, from what I read this morning, it seems like he was all involved in it though. Like the sophistication, the level of cheating they were doing. It's hard to imagine he didn't know that was going on. But normally the executive doesn't know that the game is illegitimate. They don't know that anything illegitimate is actually going on. They're like Kevin said, they're one of the people to make the game look real for the marks.
Yeah, but that's naive to tell you that. Because if you know that people are getting you to bring people to a table, like who's the they?
Well, but that's the thing. If I'm a millionaire, right, and I play, and let's say I'm playing, and I'm a millionaire. I just want to play in a game with other millionaires. I don't want to play with. I don't want to go to a casino. I want to play in a high stakes game with other millionaires. If I sit down at a table and I see a basketball player, I'm just gonna assume he's a gambler. And if he's a celebrity, it even bolsters it even more. It makes me feel more comfortable that this game's legitimate because this guy wouldn't sit down here, and risk his reputation if it weren't. And now I'm the mark. I've been sucked in because this guy is all he's done is sit down at the game and be there. And now he's convinced me that this is real. And that
legitimizes it for you. The fact that this guy is sitting at the table.
Oh snap! It's Chauncey Billups. Oh my God!
It's Charles Barkley.
It's Charles Barkley. Like I could believe that if Charles Barkley was involved in this, I would have been like, "Yep, I believe that." Because he's another one.
But you don't believe about MJ? What are you talking about?
They're the same. To me, I think Barkley's dumb though. So I feel like he could be like
dumb.
like he would make us
dumb. He's just a
he's not dumb.
Not dumb, but I feel like he could be convinced, like to like he. I don't know. He was talking. He was talking real reckless for a guy who is a known gambler like that, who's basically a gambler addict. I thought his remarks on the whole subject were kind of reckless. That's all.
Well, Shaq too.
Shaq was a lot more reserved. Remember, he said, I don't want to sit here and judge people when I know that I gamble, I go to casinos and stuff like that too. So to me, that's a respectful way to give your thoughts on it.
Hey, Hey, Rory, can you read the comment from the homie Andre Green for us, man?
He says, Tate, speaking of load management, did you ever hear of this back in the 1990s? Load management wasn't even a thought until the last 20 years.
What you guys think about load management? I mean,
I don't know what. Can you fill me in? What is load management?
well, load management, I feel like it started with the Spurs and Greg Popovich when, like, you know, because fans pay a lot of money to see these stars play and stuff like that. Then on a random road game, you play in Milwaukee once a year, and Tim Duncan, we're gonna sit down and rest you today. Like, you know, so like back in the day, guys tried to play a lot of games. Now analytics say, guys play better off certain days of rest and stuff. So you play 80. That's why the league, NBA made last year a new rule that in order to be considered for any accolades, league-wide accolades, like all NBA, all MVP, all first team defense, all defensive team, you have to play at least 65 games of the 82.
And in NBA, all of those accolades come with money, right? Those are
yeah.
You get money with the award. Yeah, okay. So
isn't someone suing LeBron James for not playing a game? He's supposedly some fan. I mean, it was
they're suing him. They're suing him because they felt baited by the decision part 2. It was it ended up being like a marketing scheme thing, but they thought he was going to announce his retirement. So they started to speculate on tickets that weren't on sale yet.
Oh, okay.
Big G in a nutshell says MJ's actually worse than Barkley. I think MJ's reputation precedes him.
Yeah, I think like Stephen says, like the eloquence of MJ versus Barkley puts him like, you know, a little bit more above, you know, like, hey, he's a degenerate gambler kind of thing. But for sure, MJ is definitely worse than Barkley. Barkley just more out there with his stuff. Yeah,
I agree with that.
He just speaks it. Where Jordan is like, you know, more, you know, he was doing the card games and everything else.
Barkley and the Inside NBA crew, they be betting, and Barkley and Shaq pay up on TV. Here go this 10,000. You know, like literally on the game that they're watching and breaking down during halftime and post game, they bet on stuff and they pass money to each other.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, but it'd be no different than us, like you say, Stephen, when you talk about the disparity between socioeconomic classes, like us betting $50. I mean,
right.
You got me kind of worried about my bet now with you $100 that we bet about Detroit and Green Bay.
The pack is looking kind of weak there. They're in first place. They in first place, but
yeah, Detroit looking better than I thought. But you know, it's a long season.
But no, I mean, even
we bet on that is what I'm getting at. We bet
to keep it 100. I've told Kevin this. I don't even mind saying it. I've had run-ins with gambling, and it's funny, Rory. You said that you wouldn't know where to go to gamble. Like for me, I was working in a grocery store that sold liquor, and all of the liquor distributors were like serious gamblers, right? One of them was a guy I knew because we played in the same poker game. That's how I was gambling. Most of my gambling was in poker. I would play Hold'em, and it started out with like a small game with guys that I knew, and then I started going to games all over the place in the area. And I was winning. So I had a little bit of money from my poker winnings. And this guy that I knew from those games, he was like, man, you should bet on some of these on NFL games. That got into me betting on college basketball games, which I knew nothing about. And the spiral was so fast. Thankfully, I was smart enough to like be like, okay, well, now I don't have any more money, so I guess I'm done. But it was to me, it was wild because I thought the same thing you thought. I was like, well, there's nowhere to like gamble on games. And it's like, nah, if you know somebody connected to somebody, then that's all you need to know. They'll take the money to you and they'll, it's wild.
I could easily be one of these guys, man, because let me tell you how long I've been gambling. I was in 9th grade, freshman in high school, was in the homeroom with $2. Started shooting dice. I learned how to shoot dice the weekend before. Shooting dice in the high school bathroom. By the end of the day, I'm a 9th grader. I got $228 from my $2. and I've been hooked ever since, chasing that same high. I've won more than $228, but that's what got it started. And I mean, poker. Everybody that's watching and watches the show know B Dirt. Me and B Dirt met playing poker with each other 25 years ago. Grew up in the same town and stuff, but we met at a poker game. So I've been gambling for a long time. Them dice games on the street corners, going to the back room of local establishments like bars and stuff, like like dirty gambling. Like, if the police run up in here, we all in trouble. Or go out to the main floor and go get us some drinks and bring back here. Like where the waiters would come back and bring your drinks and you pay them and tip them. We back there shooting dice, playing poker, playing tunk, all kind of stuff. So I've been gambling if I was 14 in freshman year, and I've been gambling for almost 40 years. in some shape, like my wife doesn't want me to put any of those DraftKings, Pick'em on my phone because she thinks so I don't have them. Just to get not that I would be just reckless. I'm not reckless. You know what I mean? But I don't have them because it makes her feel comfortable. Temptation isn't there. Yeah, that part. So yeah, I get it, man. So I can easily be one of these guys.
And I think that was Pete Rose's big gripe at the end, before he departed. The fact that he wasn't in the Hall of Fame, but here's gambling throughout baseball now. It's just like rampant. And he's like,
yeah, I thought that is.
But he's like, but I'm not in the Hall of Fame at this point. And I did feel bad for him at the end. You know what I mean? In the beginning, I didn't feel bad for him, but I mean, at the end, I felt bad for him because of that.
Basically, you have to remember, Rory,
everyone else is gambling.
Remember, baseball writers are particularly hateful. They really don't like the fact that they can't play that sport. They're really vindictive about that. And when they get a chance to crack somebody that's really good at it, they take it and they run with it. You know what I mean? But they are just vindictive. They're like that. They desperately want to be able to play baseball, and it's like, let it go, man. You know what I mean?
Jaime Carlos says MJ used to laugh at Barkley for betting like someone that's broke. That's the difference in probably being worth 150 million and being worth 3.5 billion.
Yeah.
So well, Barkley is betting against us, we couldn't touch it, and what Barkley is betting against MJ, Barkley can't touch it. So just stay out that game, Chuck. MJ got to go gamble with Steve Jobs and them boys.
Yeah, he gotta play with just the high rollers,
just the super high rollers. But yeah, fella, Steven, I thought you wanted to tie it to something else. That was any of this gambling influence involved in gaming or something. I thought you maybe alluded.
Also, yeah, that's another topic we want to get to.
I think I mentioned that
at some point. Yeah, but it's all the Saudi money is all the same. It's different. There's a couple different like holding groups, but it's all the the Emirates, the Saudi, the oil money being transferred into new avenues. And that gambling money is what's being used to buy up gaming companies. And EA was the first big one. Like this gambling thing is so funny because I talked about this last week, that Madden Ultimate Team and FIFA Ultimate Team or whatever it's called now are both
microtransactions.
They're both gambling.
Yeah.
They're like trading card games, but it's worse because with a physical card game, at some point the company that's making cards stops printing cards, so every probability is set in stone. With a digital card game, they can always just put their thumb back on the scale if they feel like people are exploiting their economy. They can just say, okay, we'll flood the market with a bunch of useless like low rarity cards. It's a lot of it is bad, and you have people who are in charge of these really disingenuous gambling companies taking over big gaming companies. And the only barrier was that, with a gambling company, you really can't, it's really tough to advertise to kids. And if you are in charge of Madden, the kids are going to just come to you.
And the kids have the parents' credit cards. And they get these cards, it's almost like a reveal. So
well, you almost can't play the games without signing up for an account. To sign up for an account, you have to put a credit card down. I guess, really, really, really attentive parents are saying no. But you know, how do you you want your kids to be able to have fun and stuff? You don't realize what's in these games. Nobody really does. Nobody understands how these microtransactions work. How they
know
do
how
the
it
same.
works. They know how it works.
I don't think parents really understand that.
Parents know.
Just like DraftKings is pushing text to you all the time. Hey man, if you gamble $100, we'll give you $500 free. They don't know that the games are doing the same thing. The games are saying buy this.
No.
You make a $5 bet, we'll give you $200 in bets.
Mm-hmm.
That is literally how they get. At some point, a gambler is gonna say, yeah, I'll take that, and then they got him. You know,
to talk about the EA, because I think someone said that. I think Tim Lyons said, MUT, CUT, people all gambling, but EA gets away with it.
Have you seen any comments and need pulled up? Let me know.
Put it up. Yeah, that one right there.
Perfect.
So,
that one right there.
I mean, EA got busted for that. There was a game years ago called Battlefront 2, Star Wars game, and they basically turned the game into a microtransactions where people had to pay, in order to get like Yoda, or you had to pay to get, Darth Vader, and that almost destroyed the game. And EA and parents, of course, figured out their kids were using all this money to get the various characters. So now you have to buy allotments. Like you have to buy you get $5 for $10 worth of EA money, or $10 for $20 worth of EA money. So you have to buy the things now. You know what I mean? So parents are more able to control what happens regarding the transactions. But yeah, all those games are microtransactions. Then you get it's a reveal. So it's like you pay your $5, whatever, you get a card set, and it shows up, and then it's like you open the cards, and it gives you the cards that you got or you received. It might give you like a 77, roll or something, or a 52. This is Ray Lewis at the end of his career kind of thing. So it's all microtransactions, and I feel bad that they targeted kids. EA got in trouble with the Congress. I think Congress came down on EA about that at one point, and then they kind of had to change up their.
Specifically, it was the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom made what then in Battlefront 2 is loot boxes.
Mm-hmm.
They made that entire mechanic illegal.
Right.
So in response, a lot of companies had to change up the way they did business in the UK. So for efficiency, it filtered over to the US, but EA never really stopped doing that
in a different way.
Yeah, they just did it a different way overseas. They continue to do it the same way here. I think that the more interesting part is you have the Saudi money that kind of has these gamblers and all this massive debt, right? Now they bought an ecosystem of kids to build another generation of gamblers in. You have them playing games, and once they put down Madden, now you can say, okay, well, why don't you play DraftKings? You know what I mean? You've been gambling all this time. Why don't you just get on DraftKings? So it's all of it is just bad. The wrong people are in charge, and the wrong people have all of this money.
Now I'm not gonna be one. I could have sworn, because I don't play Madden, but I could have sworn. I was watching when
you used to, but I used to. I think I beat you out of playing back in the day.
No, I don't know about that. That's pretty good. But I could have sworn I saw a DraftKings ad in Madden. You know what I mean? As in the background or on the. It's almost so they're setting the kids up. Hey, you bet on getting Ray Lewis. Now, why don't you bet on Ray Lewis's son in the NFL? You know what I mean? I think it's an easy transition to get.
Is there a DraftKings stadium or arena in the league? Do they own the naming rights to one of the places? Because if they do, then that's just in the game. There's nothing you can do to stop that from happening because the locations are all real.
I mean, but Hard Rock Casino. I mean, the Hard Rock is a Hard Rock Stadium and the Hard Rock Casino. I mean, I don't know. I just believe that gambling is so interwoven now into sports. I don't know how you separate it. I don't know how you separate it.
In the last 10 years, look at all the sports franchises Vegas has gotten.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're going to get an NBA team eventually.
Yep.
The Oakland Athletics are headed to Vegas. The Raiders moved to Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
The WNBA champions are in Vegas. I mean,
isn't Vegas like as a?
I mean, their nickname is the Aces.
The Aces, right?
Like, what more do you want? What more do you want? Yeah, aces.
Yeah.
I don't
And
understand
and even back in the day, the UNLV running Rebels, Jerry, they were
Oh
right
my gosh.
there in the midst of it. It was a whole bunch of
One of the
scandal about that.
greatest teams of all time with a scandal. Like no one could touch
Right.
him. No one could touch him. But you know they were point shaving. Yeah, instead of 120 points, let's get 110. It's like
And they're right there where the big
Mhm.
influence was. They could
Yep.
see the money, see the lifestyle. And when you go back to that, I mean, like, I don't know, should players get a percentage of, I'm sure the leagues get a percentage of allowing everything that goes on with betting on their leagues, like,
They
you know,
have
the
to.
parlays.
So
They
the NBA players have a very generous revenue sharing agreement. So if the league makes money off of that DraftKings thing, then some of that goes back to the players. The problem is, I think that unfortunately the greed and maybe the money is necessary. I don't know how much money these leagues, I don't know how much it really takes to run these leagues, but a lot of it's got to be greed of them just taking that money and partnering up with these people. Maybe they need to rethink some of those decisions, because I'm not saying that people shouldn't gamble, but maybe they shouldn't be sponsoring all of the stuff that has to do with sports. You know what I mean? Maybe we shouldn't be pushing people towards sports gambling. Maybe that's where we're making a mistake. I think, like Rory said, as long as it's normalized, we're gonna keep having stuff like this happen.
Well,
like I said, I'm waiting for the NFL scandal. I'm waiting for someone to finally not get paid and just be like, no, I'm snitching on everybody. Like, you know what I mean? Because that's what it takes, Kevin. Somebody gotta come up short on the money, and then the snitching starts.
I think the NFL I think the players are just a bit more savvy with it. I think the NBA players are spoiled, right? They get more money, you know. Their careers are longer. I think they're more spoiled, and they're going to be more reckless. The NFL players, they're all about getting their money because they have to get their money because they only have so much of a NFL window of play time,
an earning window.
So I think they're just more savvy about how they gamble, what they're gambling on. I agree with you. It's definitely happening in NFL, but we don't know about it because they're just smarter people regarding keeping it under wraps. And NBA players, they don't care. They're bringing guns in the locker rooms. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. Gilbert Arenas, Stevens' boy.
Yeah.
But
oh my God,
there's been NFL players that have gotten in trouble and been suspended for using the betting apps on NFL facilities.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they get suspended for that. So then the NFL is kind of like, well, we ain't gonna play that. The NFL shield is way bigger than the NBA. The NBA is big. NFL was like Barkley betting MJ, if we want to use that now.
No, yeah,
right?
It's basically MJ. It's the NFL. The NFL. I've said this. The NFL is like its own country. Like, let's not even play. I mean, be for real. The NFL got subpoenas from Congress for the records for the Commanders, and they were like, "Nah, we're not going to do that." And that was just that. They were like, "Nah, we're not going to comply with that."
The NFL has they have a tighter ship, plain and simple. They have a tighter ship.
You know what I mean? No entity in this country
they control the ownership.
Be like, you know what? We're just going to ignore Congress. We're not going to listen to them.
To finish out, Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, has to show up in Congress to testify in front of Congress before the end of the month. End of the month is next Friday's the 31st. So sometime next week, Adam Silver will be in front of Congress. And they jump on this thing right away, right? I feel like that's part of the distraction too. That's part of the national distraction. I think they see something. The government's closed down right now. Inflation is up. All kind of stuff going on. This is salacious. Let's talk about the NBA and gambling and bringing the commissioner and having, his testimony and all.
So we don't. The government shut down. Who's he going to be talking to?
What's the guy's name? The special prosecutor that was investigating Trump. What's his name? No, Comey was the FBI director. This guy that got appointed by
You talking about the one that just got indicted a couple weeks ago? Right?
Jack Smith. Jack Smith.
Yeah, Jack Smith.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jack Smith.
But isn't Comey been indicted too?
Yeah, Comey got
yeah, Comey
indicted
did,
too.
but I'm saying Jack Smith. He's saying I want to testify in front of Congress. They don't want to hear Jack Smith in front of Congress, but they want to hear Adam Silver in front of Congress. Yeah,
so it's just all a distraction, man.
It's all a distraction.
Like you said, it's salacious. This will get. Look at these big names. People will just focus in on this.
That part. Yeah. Like I said, forget about the Colombian family boats we blown about the water because we think we're fighting a war on drugs and you kill a family and 3 kids. Like, I mean, we're not going to talk about that. We're going to sweep that under the rug.
Not on purpose.
Yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to talk about gambling is what's really important right now.
Protect Americans from themselves.
You see all these players like Terry Rozier and former player Chauncey Billups. They out here stealing money from people, guys. This is what's important.
Right.
And
so
let's 28 other mobsters.
But when it comes to like table gambling, like poker, the U.S. government isn't mad about the gambling per se. They just want their cut. So there's millions of dollars on that table, millions, and the U.S. government got none of it. The U.S. government doesn't want that. So when you do prize picks and all the others, the U.S. government gets its cut.
For anybody out there that's playing in a home game, your game is legal as long as nobody's raking the pot.
Or I mean, it's isn't there like a certain amount in states where you can kind of do it? I don't know the gambling.
Nah, as long as it's a federal law, as long as there is no rake, a home poker game is fine.
So you can have
if you just gambling against each other, if you're
just gambling against each other and nobody takes anything, you don't take a percentage of each pot, then it's legal.
Right.
So the government's okay with you having like a certain amount of money. They cannot.
The states,
they're okay with that.
They're probably not okay with that part.
Yeah, if your stakes get super high, then the expectation is that you're going to report your earnings. But
you're not going to do that, are you? So now the government say, hey, Billy Bob says that he lost $20,000 off the bat.
Well, I'm a square, so I'm gonna report my earnings. Because, like I said,
I've played the most money I've won at a game, like a home game or something like that.
Do you want to announce that right now? Do you want to announce that on?
Well, I'm saying I didn't pay no taxes on it. I left out of a place with $6,000 cash. It's not a whole bunch of money, but I didn't report nothing. I walked out with
Don't get me involved in this. Don't get me involved in this.
Hey, I've been a lot of places and spent a long time gambling. You have to go back and figure that out, Mr. FBI, Cash Patel.
Cash Patel might do it though.
That's what I'm saying.
He might do it out of spite.
Kevin didn't need nobody to walk into his car with that $6,000. When I left with the most I ever had to win, I had to have somebody walk me to my car. Kevin was by himself. He was like, "Nah, I'm good. I'll be all right."
Yeah, hey, slowly tuck it away.
Tim Lyons agrees with me.
Cargo jeans with plenty of pockets.
I agree with you.
I was stashing in the pockets after every pot. I take some and fold it up, slip it into the pot.
You want somebody to walk to the car with you? I said, yes, I would. Yes, I would like somebody to walk to the car with me very much. Thank you.
I don't need to hear this, people. Don't get me. I don't want to be complicit.
Nobody said
I don't want to be complicit. You said something. You literally said something.
I had somebody walk to the car.
Hey, Steven, we got.
My mic is breaking up. Though. I don't. My headphones are.
Sorry, Steven, you see, Roy is a Brit Jamaican, which means ICE could come at him anytime for no reason. So
okay, my bad.
Anytime. I don't need to be hearing nothing.
No.
Nothing.
I don't know nothing about it.
Is your passport up to date, Rory?
My passport and my green card, but
okay, fantastic.
But I don't want to hear nothing. In fact, you guys were talking about something I didn't hear. Just as a heads up.
I didn't say no amount.
Tim is with you, Roy. Tim is with you.
Thank you. Yeah, see, I'm not the only one. You guys we shouldn't be doing this. Let's talk about Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups. You know what I mean? Let's talk about those guys,
talk
taking
about
money.
What's the news and not our personal lives. Yeah, no. But fellas, we about to get out of here, man. Just go ahead and give your final thoughts and tell us something you guys are looking forward to talking about eventually. We can talk about it one. I know Steven, you're real, got a lot of different things you're into and opinionated about stuff as it relates to just society and sports stuff like that. Anything you think about coming up in the future you want to talk about, we can get into. Same thing with you,
there
Roy. Go
is.
say
I
we got
would
here.
like for us, and this would have to be one we have to plan for, but I want to talk about the Kyrie Irving situation, the entire thing of the entire being of Kyrie Irving in the NBA. I want to talk about his play, his interactions with the teams and players he's been with, and I want to talk about all the other stuff too, because I think it kind of speaks to some of how like a youth attitude that I'm seeing, and he kind of like is like one of the pillars of that, and I think he's a really interesting individual. I think it'd be interesting to talk about him.
Well, I'm gonna say if you're gonna talk about Kyrie, he's an Essex County man. You know what I mean, like myself, and if you're going to talk about him, you're going to talk about him in a kind way, a very kind way.
We can talk about him in an honest way, Rory. I'm not going to disparage someone.
I'm fully aware that he's a flat earther. You know what I'm saying?
And that's a part of it. That he, among other things, he's a flat earther. Among other things,
we're going to talk about Essex men in a kind and supportive way.
And that's
all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
We can speak about him honestly.
Okay.
He's also a charitable guy. He gives to a lot of different charities and helps a lot of different things.
That's
part
saying.
of it.
He's a really interesting individual when you really break it down.
Kyrie Irving is to the NBA and basketball what Kanye West is to hip hop and music.
That is why I want to talk about him.
Wait.
That's you talk about a person.
That's not kind. That's not kind.
This is just real. I don't know if it's kind or not.
It's honest, Rory. And the reality is, we're part of the culture that he is supposed to be a representative of, and we can speak about that person honestly. We really can.
But by saying that comparison, you're saying that Kyrie has mental deficiencies. He needs medication.
We're saying that he is on top. We're saying that on top of being a charitable individual,
if he would just take his medication, he would be much better.
I think you're reading too deep into it. Okay, all I'm saying is that on top of being a kind and outwardly seemingly intelligent individual, he's extremely divisive as well. And I think you can talk about both of those things. You can talk about the good, and you can talk about the divisiveness as well.
All right.
I think that's important.
I think my comp was not so much that he's crazy. He's a little different, but that they're both eccentric. That's what I'll say.
Eccentric. That's a better word. See, that's kind. That's a kinder, that's kind.
Look, I'm one of the people who made Kanye famous. So I have to, when I talk about Kanye, I have to remember that I'm a part of why he is how he is. Like, he doesn't have that ego if he doesn't have fans. Like if he doesn't have us as fans. So it's like,
did you buy some Yeezys? Did you buy some?
I ain't never had
no Yeezy. Fan of. You're not a fan. You're not a fan.
Money. I ain't never had no easy money. But
I could have sworn you talked about coming out of places.
I mean to say I called the man a musical genius a couple of times. Okay. All right. I called him a musical genius. I did.
And that's fair.
And at the same time, he's one of the most divisive figures in my generation, period. He's one of, without getting into another conversation about what he's talking about, I think it's a fair comparison that Kevin is making. Compare Kyrie to Kanye. And that's why I want to talk. We could do that. We could do the Kanye to Kyrie comparison from hip hop to the NBA. What up,
Afton? Rory, you got shout out Afton again. Rory, you got anything you want to talk about going forward, man? If we got here,
I mean,
for future episodes.
Future episodes, I'd like to talk about, how NCAA football players are better off playing another year of NCAA football rather than go to the pros and get some garbage contracts. So I'd like to talk about that.
No,
how is the NFL going to? I mean, I think they get a better. Well, that's for whole another topic. But that's the topic I'd like to talk about.
Okay. And we'll get into all that and more on JAG2G. Thanks, everybody, for tapping in with us. We definitely appreciate each and every one of you that was rocking with us today. A lot of good interaction from the live chat. We certainly appreciate it.
Did you see Brent Howell's final comment real quick?
No, I didn't see it.
Pull that one up.
Oh, it just came up. Go ahead, read it, Warren.
Anyone who believes the earth is flat is out of their mind. Okay. See, Brent, you're not being kind. You're not being kind.
But he's being real, Brent. Brent's being real. Boy, just because you Kyrie from your neighborhood, man, we don't care.
That's not being kind. That's not being kind. You know what I mean?
Steve,
You might.
Stephen and Kevin Durant from the same neighborhood.
Yes.
And we can talk about Kevin Durant.
We should for sure. But
yeah.
you might say eccentric, like Kevin said. Yeah, he's anyone who's the earth is flat is quite eccentric. It's quite eccentric. That's a much better use of that word again. You know what I mean? Like, hey,
I don't think Kevin Durant is as interesting a person as Kyrie Irving, though. You know what I mean? He's a good basketball player. But he's not
as a dude that get Twitter burner accounts and goes back and forth with people. Professional. That's something to talk about.
It is.
Wait a minute, back up. He does that?
What? Rory, you knew that, right?
I knew that one.
All right, yeah, we got to talk about that one too. We got to talk. Wow, that is.
Yeah, he's a great basketball player, and he does a lot for this community, Prince George's County, not PG Rory. And he also is very sensitive.
He loves his mama. He loves his mama too.
Loves his mama, has his burner accounts. When people fire back, he snaps back at them. So
buy a burner phone.
Buy a burner phone.
Or burner account.
Burner account, Stephen. You go ahead and research that one. You'll find a lot on it.
That's crazy, man.
Oh yeah, you're right. I'm looking at it right here, Les. Indiana is putting that whole entire BTA. And let's go ahead and see that one more time. Nothing like seeing a good BTA. Belt to
behind.
No, it's ass, Roy. We can say that. It's not. It's PG still.
Yeah, kind of.
Boy, your mama told me you was disrespecting her, okay? So pick one. Either way it go, this ends with you getting a whooping.
New Heisel son is getting that BTA.
Yeah, shout out to the Commanders. Shout out to them.
For what? They about to lose this weekend. James Daniels hurt, and his mama said stop comparing to RG3.
They know something about BTA because the Dallas Cowboys put that on, dropped that 40 bar on them. Yeah,
they did. I'll see what Dallas does with the Broncos this weekend.
We're gonna see. Yeah, we'll see.
And the Rams, who they play, Roy?
Oh yeah, I haven't checked. Yeah, dude, I've been so busy this week. I haven't checked that.
Okay.
So,
they might even have a bye. They just came back from your home, London.
Thursday. Yeah, Wembley. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so they probably got a bye.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, with that being said, everybody, we about to get out of here. Thanks for tapping in. We'll be back next week. Look for the time. We'll figure it out next week. I don't have my barber appointment, but we'll see what we decide on this week, and we'll talk about some of these topics and more stuff that happens in the news and sports. Until next week, for the JAG2G guys, we out. Peace.
Let's go.
Mamba out.
Y'all come back now. Here